What's up, everybody? Welcome back to Run It Up Hangout. I'm here today with my good friend, Lucky Chewy. Yes, that's right. What's up, buddy? How you been?
I've just been amazing. Life's been great. Got back from doing a lot of traveling about a month ago.
Where'd you go?
So I started off in Florida for that big tournament that I had.
Right.
Then I was in Barcelona, spent some time in Toronto for W Coop. And then I was just up and down the East Coast visiting family. My girlfriend's brother got married.
Oh, look at that.
Visited my parents, her parents.
You know, it's funny because I actually, just like Dan O'Brien, we actually also grew up together on Long Island. Not like together, but, you know, we were like 30 minutes apart. Never actually hung out, but we were on the same island for like 26 years. But, yeah, that's awesome. So you visited home. That's got to be kind of nice. Probably don't get to do that too often, I wouldn't think.
For sure, yeah. Nice to see old friends and just, like, catch up and stuff. And,
I feel like, do you feel like at this point, like for me at least, so many of my friends from back home are like getting like starting to begin that weird phase of like marriage and like adulthood. Do you feel like that's happened with your friends mostly?
100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like my one buddy, is all of a sudden, boom, he's getting married, he's having a kid, and I'm like, whoa, didn't see that coming.
Yeah, it's kind of weird how different like the poker path is to the regular like human normal path, right?
Yeah.
Like it's kind of weird the things that we've done in lifetime, you know?
For sure. I think society typically like has this it's almost like a pressure that people are like, oh, I'm getting close to 30, like I kind of need to get married and have kids and stuff. And
right.
I don't really abide by that, but
I don't feel like you're that kind of
do.
guy. Yeah, I feel like you're not that kind of guy to feel those pressures, surprisingly enough.
I do want to have a family one day.
Right.
But yeah, no pressure.
Not for now. So how has your poker career been lately? Like I know you've been playing a lot, but have you been playing like the super high rollers? Have you been like, what have you been up to with poker stuff these days?
Yeah, I played the super high roller in Florida and Barcelona. No luck there.
Yeah.
Had a lot of deep runs in W Coop. Yeah, nothing especially exciting.
Are you playing cash these days much or not really?
When I'm here, yeah, I'll go to Bellagio and play cash every once in a while.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Nice. So, like, I know in the old days you used to play online all the time. Like, you were one of the, I mean, you still are, in my opinion, you still are one of the best tournament players around. And I've been saying that since before you came on the show, by the way.
Thank you.
So, I've always had a lot of respect for your tournament game, but you've been also really successful at cash games as well, like, for years and years. How did you get into cash games? Like, who were your influencers? Like, for me, it was, like, Vivek was my biggest friend that got me into cash games. Was there anybody for you that made you into, like, a cash game sicko or even, like, a tournament sicko? Is there anybody that you look back on?
Yeah, I would say between me, Dan Smith, and Steve Silverman, the three of us kind of conglomerated ideas.
Big time
for a while.
Zuggles.
Yeah,
that's
big
right.
Time Zuggles.
Big time Zuggles.
Big time for a long time now.
He just won $1 million, didn't he? Like not that long ago in the last
he won the super high roller in Florida.
Oh, no big deal.
No big deal.
Big time Zuggles. Yeah. So you guys were friends from where initially?
So I met both of them at Turning Stone, and then we moved into like a beach house in Jersey for a summer. Kind of got to know each other. Randall Flowers lived with us then as well.
Oh, cool.
Then after that, Randall went back to North Carolina, and the three of us got a place in Bethesda, Maryland for a year. So we kind of got to know each other a lot better. And
so this was like 8 years ago at this point.
Not quite that long ago.
But still pretty long. Like, how old are you now?
6 years ago. Yeah, I'm 26 now.
Yeah, I'm 26 too. So yeah, that's right. We're so old, man. 26 is crazy. Remember when we were like the kids? We were like the youngest in the poker room always.
Yeah.
I was saying to Antonio, I was like, oh God, we're so old now.
It's really funny how it all sort of pans out before your eyes.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, right?
Life.
Kind of, yeah, life. Exactly. So what are you doing besides poker? I know you're the type of guy that always, every time I talk to you, you're doing something interesting. It's always like, you never know what you're going to get, but I feel like you're always doing something. What's been taking up your time in the last, like, besides poker?
Okay, so I'm really still into rock climbing.
Oh, cool.
I love bouldering. It's a type of rock climbing where you're not strapped in. You're climbing, like, at most 20 feet high. I do it indoors at this gym up on Charleston and Cimarron.
Oh, cool.
Really enjoy that.
How'd you find that?
So I was in San Diego 2 years ago, just visiting some poker friends, and they were doing it, and I was like, oh, this is sweet. And then I just looked for a gym when I got back here.
That's awesome.
That. Yeah.
That's crazy. I would never have guessed that you were into that. I guess that's why. That's what guy says. Like, what are you gonna say? That's a good example. Yeah. That's awesome. Do you ever go out with Dan O'Brien? Because I know he's big into.
Yeah. I've seen him there. We've climbed together a bit.
Oh,
he does
cool.
more of the strapped-in climbing.
Who's surprised?
I mean, they're just two different beasts, you know? It's not like one is easier than the other or anything.
Got ya.
They're just different.
That's awesome. That's kind of funny that you happen to find
You
that.
should come sometime. It's really fun.
Yeah, I might be down for that. That sounds like a thing that would be a great video. That's for sure.
Definitely, yeah.
Oh, that sounds great. We'll have to do that. Last time when Antonio was here, he kind of opened up a little bit and talked about how over the course of his life, his perspective had changed from trying to use money to buy things and instead to spend his money to kind of buy his way into experiences. And I kind of feel like of all the people that I'm friends with, you've kind of felt that same way for the longest time. Like I feel like of all the people that I know, you've always been a big fan of like trying to experience things and like open your mind to different opportunities and keep your mind open for things. Do you feel like that's true? And what have you been like, you know, anything recently come across your mind that has, I feel like there's always things going on in there that I just want to hear about, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, when I first got into poker and had initial success, I was still kind of coming from that like that place that society sort of breeds upon you to like be a consumer and be a materialist. And I definitely spent like a lot of money buying things that, I mean, I guess you could say I regret it, but it was just like a phase in my life that kind of had to happen.
Right.
But since then, yeah, I don't really care so much about having nice things, and I'm definitely like on board with that. Like, you know, spending for experience, spending for health especially,
right?
Because that's one of the best experiences you can have.
Right. Right. Did you do like the Burning Man stuff over the summer? Like, it feels like that thing that you were kind of into, but
definitely interested in it. I didn't get to do it this time around. I felt like
Have you done it before?
No. I've actually never been to a festival. I almost went to a different one. It's called Reggae by the River, where I went on a road trip.
That sounds kind of fun,
California.
actually. Yeah.
Yeah. It seems like it would have been awesome.
Right.
Definitely my kind of scene. I will do it at some point.
That sounds cool, for sure. Yeah, I mean, like, I've never actually made it to those events, but, like, Antonio's always wanted me to go, and I feel like it would be the kind of thing that, even though I have, like, I have some anxieties about it, to be honest, but I think it would be great. Like, I'm sure once I went, it would be like an awesome type of experience, you know, especially like as I get older, I feel like there are just so many alternative points of view that are just, I just want to like learn about, and kind of like, I feel like a lot of my life these days is based around like trying to learn new things. And that's something that I think we have in common a lot.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You know?
Always reading articles on the internet, Googling stuff. I mean, it's just such an incredible resource. Why not take full advantage of it?
Right. What were you going to do before you came into poker? Like, did you have anything in mind, like career-wise, or something that you had a passion for?
Not really. I mean, kind of the reason I got into poker was because I was in college with no major and kind of just wasting time and like really dreading being there. Then I found poker and I was like, oh, okay, I can just play in the library and not go to class. That was that.
yeah, that happened to me too. It's like, oh, we can make thousands of dollars instead of going to class. Okay, I guess that sounds like fun, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's just really hard to convince yourself to study anything that's going to be, first of all, like a huge time commitment, and then a payoff later when you can just do something you love now and get the payoff immediately.
Right. When you've obviously traveled incredibly often around the world, I mean, where have you been in the last, like, I mean, is there any place you've been in the last few years that you've felt is like particularly amazing? Like, I never went to Macau, but you've been to Macau a couple times.
Yeah, I just went once a couple of years ago. I didn't really like Macau that much. I'm sure it's changed a lot since I've been there, since like the more high stakes games have been running. And
why didn't you like it beyond?
Wow, I mean, it was just so different. Definitely culture shock was part of it, but also it was so polluted when I was there. Like, they were doing so much construction, the air quality was really poor.
Oh, right, yeah.
It was just like this, it seemed like a giant city where like nobody was happy, kind of.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a place that sounds like a lot of fun to be in.
Not at all.
But you live in Vegas now, though, right? So how has that been like for you?
I love Vegas. It definitely took me some time to get adjusted to it. Like finding this rock climbing gym, finding like yoga studios I really like, finding friends, going on hikes and stuff. This all kind of took me a while to
build
like,
that network.
to. Yeah.
Right.
And now that I've found it, I'm like, okay, Vegas is sweet.
How are you enjoying yoga?
Oh, I love yoga.
That seems like a perfect Lucky Chewy activity.
Definitely is. 100%.
That's great. I've never done that either. That's something else that sounds like that could be awesome.
Dude. Yeah, we got 2 things to do.
Oh, that's great. The videos will be awesome videos.
100%. I'll shoot you text before I go.
Are you still making videos in any kind of capacity, like for poker videos, stuff like that?
Yeah, I've definitely been slacking. I should be making more videos than I have been. So Ivy Poker bought Lego Poker.
Right.
I'm still a part of that, and I'm still making videos for them. But I pretty much only make videos when I'm out of the country on Stars.
To play online, right?
Yeah.
That makes sense. What got you into making videos initially? Like, what attracted you to that idea?
I guess it was just being friends with Aaron Jones, and he was associated with Lego at the time.
He's got great videos and obviously a great thought process.
Yeah,
to say the least.
And yeah, he just kind of got me on board, and I was really enjoying it. I like teaching. I don't like the pressure of necessarily having like a student who like has a bunch of expectations, but if I can just put a video out there and like express myself, it seems like get positive reviews and make people happy, and I enjoy that.
That does sound pretty good.
Yeah.
But you don't coach very often, you were saying.
Yeah, not really. I had a couple students throughout the years. I get some requests, but I'm like so bad at scheduling and planning. Like it's not something I even really try to get better at. So
right.
People don't really like that.
Yeah. People ask me if I do coaching, and I'm like, I would just be stealing your money. Like there are so many guys who are like efficient and organized and would actually like take good care of you. I'll do none of those things. I'll be late to the meetings, charge you too much money. You'll get better coaching from someone else. You know, I feel like at this point, that's kind of how I feel.
Definitely can relate to that, yeah.
So you still into the UFC at all? Like I know for a while you were at least kind of into the UFC. Are you still following it?
I don't watch that much. I find it pretty interesting. Whenever I watch Joe Rogan's podcast, I like hearing what he has to say about it. But yeah, I haven't really been following it as much as I was.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Rogan's obviously one of my idols. I think he's got an amazing, like he's done an amazing thing with his career. Like what he's been able to accomplish is obviously phenomenal. Like
he moved up the ladder really well.
Yeah, you know, I mean, his show is great. Like the people he's brought on his show have been like, for me, like I haven't watched a show that often, but every time that I've watched it, I've always been like amazed by the guest. Like I was first introduced to Shane Smith, who owns Vice, through Joe Rogan. Like, and all of a sudden,
amazing guest.
The world of Vice opened up to me, and I was like, oh my god, like the stories you got to find out about and the lessons you got to learn. Like I don't know if you've seen many of the Vice videos, but they're great.
Yeah,
you know, the stuff that they do is just like, you know, absolutely amazing. Have you done much traveling outside of like for poker? Like have you done, like Antonio went to, I think he said Nicaragua and Bolivia or something like that for charity. Yeah. Have you done anything like that before?
No, I actually would love to do some charity work in the third world, and I'm kind of getting on board with a project that might, I mean, I don't know when it's going to fully manifest itself, but it's called the Give Fund, and we would kind of just be, you know, getting like very small donations for like Cambodian families and other third world places where, you know, they just need like a new roof on their house, or they need money for education and stuff. Right. But I would love to actually go there and build the roof, or like teach the kids. I think that'd be awesome.
Right, that would be great. I'm sure not only would it be a great like experience to give, but a great experience for like you to actually go. I mean,
definitely, yeah.
Talk about rewarding, you know. I mean,
and perspective changing.
Right. For sure. Those are great things. I know we're both fans of perspective changes, you
Absolutely.
know? Do you look back, I mean, like for me, I look back on my last like 5 years and I just think, oh my God, I cannot believe I ever felt that way. Like I was so sure I was right about something and I was just so wrong. Look at how many, for me, I mean, I was closeted for 24 years and that cage, literally like mental cage of anxiety, restricted me from not only like being who I am and being like open and outgoing and all that other stuff, but it restricted me from just like wanting to try new things and wanting to really open up to people and connect to people. Like do you feel like, I mean, like looking back at your poker career, because you know there are some, I think back to moments where like you had said the joke about how close the sun is from New York or something like that. You said it was like what, 4,000 miles or something, 10,000 miles.
I've made some bad estimates.
Right. But do you look back on the last like 5-10 years and think like, wow, like you really feel like, do you see the growth in yourself? Because for me, I feel like at 26 I'm starting to finally see it.
Absolutely, yeah. I think a lot of my growth comes from just like releasing judgment of myself and others. Like it's just so subtle sometimes you don't even realize that you're judging yourself, and then you get that perspective alteration. You're like, oh wow, like, you know, that's just how I am. So it's just kind of something you have to accept. You can obviously work towards change,
right?
But some things just are as they are.
Do you feel like you're a epiphany type of thinker, or do you feel like you're like a gradual discoverer? Does that make any sense? Like, like, do you feel like, does it come to you in bursts like, oh, wow, that's right, like a eureka moment? Or do you feel like you're like the slowly discover type of person? Or is it a mix?
Yeah, it's quite a bit of a mix. I definitely have occasional epiphanies where something just dawns on me. In the shower, actually, it happens a lot because you're kind of just doing your thing, you know, and you're not really like focused on anything, and then boom, a thought comes to you. You're just like, whoa, that's pretty groundbreaking.
Right, you just stumble on these things. I actually have waterproof paper in the shower, so I can't forget things like that myself.
Wow,
isn't that a good idea, right?
That is wise.
That's right. I give something back to you now. I can learn yoga and rock climbing, and I can give you some advice like paper in the shower. There you go.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, like I feel like man, and especially in the last like 3 years, as I've like challenged myself to do more things and to like just leave the house and just meet different people and to try to just say yes to different opportunities, that my world has expanded so much. You know, I had the reputation, we weren't really friends back in the day, but I had the reputation of going to events, and when I busted, I left immediately. I went to Australia, busted the main event, and I was on the plane like 20 minutes later. Like not 20 minutes, but it was pretty close.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
like I never left the hotel, and like what a waste. You know, like what a limited perspective and what a narrow-minded perspective I had. And I just look back as like, man, I thought I knew everything.
Yep. Yeah, I'm definitely the same in that regard. And I guess to answer your question from earlier, I haven't done as much traveling outside of poker as I would like to. Went to Mexico for yoga retreat, and that was amazing. I was like, well, okay, I should do more of this stuff. But I don't know, the traveling from poker kind of wears me out. And then when I get home, I'm just like, oh, yes, relaxing time.
Yeah, I think people don't realize that for poker players, being home is usually vacation.
Yeah,
Like-
that's very true.
So have you been playing any of these like Bellagio tournaments that I've been running lately? Like they've been having like every other week they've been having like a 10K, it seems, that's got like 12 people in it. Have you been playing in those or not so much?
No, I went down the last one they had, and I was going to play, but the 1020 was just so good. I was like, well, I'm just going to play this instead.
Right. Are they getting much bigger than that? Are you getting like 100, 200 games or anything like that running every so often, or not at all?
Not that I know of. They had one like many months ago. I think it's kind of rare. It just matters who's in town.
Right. Well, upcoming is this tournament series at Bellagio. You're going to be playing in that. There's also a 100K, I think. Like the last year, they got 500 people for that 10K in December, which I doubt they'll get this year, but maybe they will.
Maybe, yeah.
Will you be in there for that
Absolutely,
for sure?
Yeah.
100K maybe?
Yeah, I'll play.
Oh, nice. That's exciting. I'll probably be in there myself. I'm going to make my unretirement from poker and hop in the 100K.
Cool.
Sure. Yeah, cool. Yeah, I'm sure you're fucking thrilled. Cool.
No,
Sounds great. Yeah, you know, I'll be in there. What's the worst thing that can happen? 100,000? All right. You know, whatever. So are you living by yourself these days?
no, I'm actually, my girlfriend's living with me, my brother.
Oh, cool.
I have a couple roommates that are like in and out. Another friend just moved in. I kind of bought a big house when I first moved to Vegas, and I was like, oh, yeah, I get to have my friends around all the time. How awesome is that?
That does sound pretty great.
Yeah. Girlfriend's not so thrilled about that, but...
Right, I guess that's true also. It's you know...
I didn't have a girlfriend at the time.
Right, okay, exactly. So it's too late. It's you know,
yeah.
it's a legacy thing. Sorry, it's just how it is, right?
For sure. I'm a very community kind of guy, so...
Yeah, I definitely get that feel for you. So what's up after Bellagio for you? What's your plans like for the next like 3 months? Projects or travels, anything like that?
Well, yeah, this charity, depending on how that goes, I'm going to devote some
It would
time
be
to
that soon, you think? Cool.
Hopefully. We'll see.
Right.
It's a very ground floor right now. It's kind of just like an idea. Nothing's really manifested itself yet. I'm going to go to Mexico for New Year's, visit some friends down there.
Cool.
And I think I'm going to skip PCA for the first time in many years.
I was thinking about that too, actually. What's got you quitting?
I mean, Atlantis, like everything about it, it's just like, I don't know, it's so hard to explain because like the first time you go there, you're like, oh, this place is amazing. Like the first time I went there, I really did love it. It's kind of just because it's new and it's exciting and like you're by the beach. But year after year, don't get me wrong, like I have really awesome time there. But yeah, I don't know. I'm just kind of, I feel like if I do that, like I kind of lose my energy for traveling after that. And I want to do Australia this year. So
I was thinking about that too during the Australia trip instead.
Yeah,
we're on the same wavelength.
Definitely.
I think with poker travels.
That's why we're both here.
I haven't done Australia in like 5 years, and I had such a great time when I went to Australia. It was awesome. There was a great cash game that was going on. I was way too unexperienced to play back then, but this year I might hop in there. You know, like I think it's just such a great event. Everyone's so nice down there. I don't know.
Definitely.
I feel like that sounds much more fun than going to Bahamas again.
Yeah.
So, you know, obviously you're one of the best poker players in the world for sure. No one can even argue with that. Is there anything that you do to keep yourself like at the forefront these days? That, you know, because obviously information is so much more easily accessible. People are putting out tons of information. You know, people even on YouTube are putting out these crazy poker shows apparently. But what are you doing to keep yourself sharp these days? I get asked that question a lot, and I just say nothing because you know I'm mostly retired. But you're obviously still out there.
I just think practice. Like it's always going to be for me the most helpful thing. Like before any sort of like big event, I love getting like even just a couple hours in just to like get that feel back, you know, that like intuitive feel that we have for the game, just to harvest that a little bit and cultivate that sort of energy. And that for me is what works best. So yeah, just any sort of practice.
So you don't have any kind of like, you know, like anyone that's like super close with you that you guys like are completely open with, that you just like discuss, you know, strategies or anything?
Oh,
like
definitely.
that? You do have a couple of friends that are still like that.
But Yeah, yeah. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I think all poker players that are at the top level kind of need that, because we just need to bounce ideas off each other.
Who do you think are the best, like some of the best three, let's say, tournament players around these days? Like if I had to put three players on your left that you would say, oh my God, never put them on my left, who would you pick?
Well, I don't necessarily know that I'd pick the best players to not be on my left.
Well, no, I'm saying I'm going to tell you you have 3 seats you can ban from people. No, who could never be on your left. 3 bans for the next
Definitely
year.
Vanessa.
Oh, Vanessa's on there. Okay. All right.
I mean, she's just like so relentless. Like you just never want her on your left, I feel.
That's true. It never makes for a fun day.
Yeah,
That's for sure.
Probably Scott and I guess Justin.
Really? Justin Bonomo?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, weird. You didn't go with any Europeans. All straight Americans, huh?
Yeah. I didn't go with any Europeans.
You know, how do you feel about like that German contingent that is just, in my opinion, they seem like the crushers, like the Phil Gruesums and the Tobiases.
Yeah,
and
yeah. I probably should have put Phil on that list. He's historically done very well against me, so I definitely don't want him.
He's done very well against everyone in your defense.
True.
So you're not the only one.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those guys just seem to always get it done. It's crazy. They just somehow travel everywhere and always win.
Mm-hmm.
How do you beat them?
Yeah, I mean they're just incredibly motivated, and yeah, they just have that contingency, like you said, bounce ideas off each other.
Pretty strong.
Awesome.
Well, hey man, thanks for coming on the show. It was a lot of fun. Of fun having you. We got to have a little peek in the mind of Lucky Chewy.
Yeah.
And now everyone gets to watch me maybe do yoga and do this boulder climbing thing. That's great, at least.
That'd be awesome.
It's a win for them, win for you. All right, I'll enjoy it too. It'll be great. Anyway, don't forget, guys, tweet Lucky Chewy on Twitter. What's your Twitter handle?
Lucky Chewy.
Lucky Chewy. That's easy. Tell them, hey, Lucky Chewy, thanks for coming on the show. It was great having you here. You know, I like encouraging them to say thank you so people will come back.
Cool.
You know?
Dude, I will come back whenever.
Oh, that's great. Look at that. All right, don't forget, guys, tweet Lucky Chewy, say thanks for coming, and I will see you guys back for more tomorrow. I usually give them a little peace thing. Martin Kamen did it. Oh, you did it too. Look at that. All right,
started
guys.
with the piece, I ended with the piece.
Oh, that's right. That's great. Lucky Chewy does it. We can do it too. That's great. All right, guys. I will see you back for more tomorrow. Peace.
How do you win?
You knocked the guy's head off.
Oh, shit. Okay.
You go like, they're just trying to punch my head, as they say the goal is. All right, you gotta wait till they say go.
Okay.
All right,
This
ready?
is difficult.
Okay, ready? Go. Oh, I went first.
Okay. All right, that's pretty sweet.
All right, this will be the real one for 100K, right? Yeah, let's go. Oh, damn it! Of course, you win the 100 for 100K. All right, let's do it. Ready? Nice. All right, I think it's 2 on me.
Yeah.
Okay, ready? Go. Oh, fuck, dude. All right, the last one for all the marbles.
Okay.
Oh, the left hand!
Oh.
The left hand jab!
Left jab,
the
too.
left hand jab, the champion. That's great. See, this could have been great on camera. What are you talking about?